Yo, what's good, family? It's the Kid X. Welcome to another lovely edition of Crowns Up, episode 3. I am Professor X. We are bringing you the best in hip-hop culture, faith, and what's going on in the world. We appreciate you tuning in to us wherever way you are, whether it's on YouTube or Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, SoundCloud, however you listening to us or however you watching us. We appreciate you, man. We're grateful. For those who are just tuning in, we give you the best and try to motivate you, inspire you, keep your crowns up. And we do that by different ways. So we talk about what's good with the culture, we deal with the issue of faith, and we get into our top 5 discussion of hip hop or different topics. And so I have a great guest on today. She's a homie, she's my sister, she's my family. Give it up, y'all, and pay attention to Miss Tamise Spencer. Tamise, what's poppin'?
Hey, what's going on?
How you feeling?
Doing good.
Welcome to Crowns Up. Appreciate you coming through.
I'm glad to be here.
Hey, man, she's a lover of hip hop just like myself, so I knew I had to get her on to the show, and I appreciate it. For those that may not be familiar with you, Tamise, and those that don't know who you are, can you give the people a little bit about who you are, your background?
Yeah, I'm looking at you with them.
You can look at them, whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm Tamise. I just moved actually to the Hampton Roads area. I lived here in Atlanta before that. I was doing work. I met X at the AUC, doing work there, doing some ministry work, some campus stuff, and then I moved to Virginia to start my own business. So that's what I'm doing. I'm a mom. I got a 16-month-old baby girl.
Hey, shout out to the moms.
And a husband named Paul. So that's me.
Dope. All right, so what's the name of the business, to me?
It's called Subculture.
All right, Subculture. What's Subculture all about?
So basically what we do is we try to remove barriers for students of color on campus. So anything from financial issues, spiritual issues, emotional issues. We want to work with people who work with students and also create content that helps students sort of clear away things for faith and graduation.
Bad. That's dope, man. Yeah. So if somebody want to get in contact with you or whatever like that, they want to work with you, what they got to do?
Yeah, www.subcultureinc.org.
Bad. All right, y'all. So again, we're going to have a good show. We got Tamise in the building. Let's get into it. All right. So what's good with the culture? We got a lot of stuff going on with the culture, man. A lot. ASAP's free. Finally, he's free, man. He did do wrong. Yo, he was on lockdown for like.
How long was he?
Like 2 weeks? No, maybe a little bit longer. Might have been almost a month. He was there for a while. For those, if you haven't been tuning in, ASAP got into a little altercation with some people in Sweden, and they was harassing him.
You saw the video?
His bodyguard, yeah. I saw him she tried to warn him, you know what I mean? Like, yo, fuck
several
that.
times.
Yeah, and they didn't want to listen, you know. They didn't know how them Harlem boys do. So, but then they locked him up, and then Trump was trying to get him out and stuff like that. They were trying to talk about how, that in the United States, calling over there is not going to help their judicial system, whatever like that. But, ASAP was losing money because he was supposed to be out there doing shows and stuff like that.
Exactly.
And so, but they let him out. I heard that he's not going to be trying to get any money from them and stuff like that. Like that. What do you think about the whole going over into other countries and stuff and doing shows and how they treat us and stuff like that? What's your feeling?
I think it's part of the business, right? So I feel kind of bad for him because he went over there to get money.
Yeah.
And then he had to deal with a whole different justice system and things like that. But I feel like if they go over to do shows, I feel like they need to go travel with lawyers, international lawyers. They need to know what's up before they go. It's just I just can't imagine being in that position where it just flips and now he's in jail in a whole nother country. Yeah. It's just I don't know. I think it's a mess when they go over there. They don't know what's up. But I feel like it's cool too that other countries they care about our music, they're into our music. Yeah. But I feel like I don't want black rappers, black musicians to be caricatures too.
Right, true.
So it became this whole other thing, you love the music, but you treat the man wrong.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was kind of a wake up call, I think, for a lot of the community.
Yeah, man. I think it's interesting, as I was saying in the last show, we're black people, and it feels like wherever we go, we're gonna be treated a certain way, and so we got to be mindful of that. And we got to make sure we're in our P's and Q's. But how do you do that when you got fans and then you got other people who you don't know if they fans and stuff like that, and then that leads to artists being guarded, and they may not want to rock over there. Like, you know, I know Tyler and Titan and all some other artists who have said, I'm not rocking over there at Sweden if they're going to treat us this way, which I feel like we should. We should band together and be united. But I think it's difficult. It's a tough situation. But I think, ASAP did all he could do. I don't know everything that happened right before. He tried to tell him, like... He tried to, like, calm it down, de-escalate. Them boys was, like, really, it was a lot what they were doing. Man. So, we're happy ASAP's home. You know what I mean? I hope that the rest of the court case goes well and that he doesn't have to pay them. I'm sure he's not, whatever like that. But be careful when you go into other countries, man. Make sure you're aware where you're going. Make sure you know who you're going with, and keep you around you some people that are going to protect you. But know that you're not home. You know what I mean? So if something pops off, if something goes down, it can be, tragic. You know what I mean? Problematic.
Man.
So let's see what else is good with the culture. Our prayers go out to those victims of the mass shootings that have been going on in El Paso. And I think there was one more. There was 3 in like 1 week. Yeah, in the past week, for those that don't know, there's been 3 mass shootings. I think a total of 36 lives lost. One was in Dayton, Ohio. One was in El Paso, Texas, and I'm not quite sure what the third one was. But yeah, we've had 3 mass shootings. And so the president, what time is it? He's supposed to be talking 10 o'clock. Today is Monday.
Let's hope he says it.
So let's hope he says the right thing. Should we? This is a question that I've heard. Should we call these habitual mass shooting perpetrators domestic terrorists?
I think so.
Okay. Why?
Because they're terrorizing
domestically, right?
Basically. I feel like, I'm thinking about, I almost wrote something about this, like Oklahoma, all of these like homegrown terrorists who I think, some of the rhetoric that's coming down from the White House is sort of fueling and emboldening these folks to go ahead and say, well, let's do away with these people who are threatening our safety. And it's so backwards and twisted because they're wiping out communities because they feel unsafe, which is like, it's kind of weird. But I definitely think they're terrorists. I don't feel, it's funny, like now, it's for real. Like I go to the movies and I feel kind of shook a little bit.
Man, that's
like I go to any kind of public place, I'm like, and I'm looking at white boys hold on now. So I feel like, definitely I think it's terrorism. I think we need to do something about it. For real. Like,
we definitely should. I think we need to call a spade what a spade is.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, these white nationalists, Ku Klux Klan, Confederate, types of people are terrorizing the United States.
Yes.
And for so long, African Americans have been deemed and viewed as the people who you should be afraid of. We're the ones you need that are terrorizing. The FBI comes and they do a whole sweep of a city to take out our political parties and those organizations trying to help. I need them to keep that same energy they was using in the 60s and 70s and bring it right here to the teens, late teens in 2020, and bring some stuff that's going to help keep all of us safe. You know what I mean? Because what's happening at the border, the mass shootings, everything, all of it's happening, and it's kind of like continuing. It's not like there's no reason why you should have 3 mass shootings in 1 week.
Exactly.
And 2 in less than 24 hours, maybe.
It's like 13 hours.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's crazy.
I don't think that's a coincidence.
No, I don't either. I'm thinking even somebody yesterday, I was like, I wrote something about it and somebody was like, well, I don't really see how we can have legislation to really fix the problem. And I'm thinking, 29 people are dead and you want to argue about gun laws and things like that. I'm like, this is just ridiculous, even how callous the culture has become to stuff like this. Like, I'm flipping through and, you got some people like rest in peace and other people like, this is my dog and this is the pizza I just ate. Just like, it's kind of wild, like how we take life for granted in our culture But I feel like, yeah, man, we got to do something about it. And I feel like if we can do all the other things we're doing, like what is he doing? He's taking money from the military and putting it into the wall.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if we can figure out things like that, like we can figure out how to fix these gun issues.
Yeah.
It's crazy out here.
Yeah.
It's really crazy out here.
And that's a good actual segue. Speaking of like things we can do, one of the things we can do is go vote.
Yes.
We got the 2020 elections coming up.
Yes.
All right. And we know the Democratic debate was this week.
Man.
We had mad panelists, mad contestants, contenders, whatever you want, politicians, whatever you want to call them, are in the mix. And Cardi actually used her platform to tell people like, yo, you should go out and vote. The Republicans are not playing out here, and we need to be about knowing who our candidates are. And so if you haven't checked out the debates, go online, go find them, pay attention to who's going. Our hip hop community, we're advocating for it. We need to, because we can have 4 more years of what we have right now, or we can have 4 more years of a difference in change. Is there any particular party or person that you are really rocking with, or that you're like,
I'm about to ask you
like
that. So now,
I got somebody who I like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like I was rocking with Buttigieg.
Okay.
So I really liked kind of he kind of was arguing for this thing of like, why does the right have to have the monopoly on faith? Yeah. Which I really appreciated. He's talking about like, what about a Christian left? Yeah. Which was really cool to me. And so I was rocking with him for a little bit. I like how he thinks. He's reasonable. But he's been losing me a little bit of late. He's just not coming with it the way I thought he would. Yeah. Kamala is coming with it, but you know, she's got some problematic things that she did in her past. But I mean, she's fierce, and I'm trying to think of somebody that can like handle him. I just feel like he would be like a little boy, you know, in her presence for some reason. She's fierce, and I like that.
When she's a black woman.
Yeah, she's a strong black woman, and I like that. Other than that, you know, I think it's just phenomenal that Mark Charles is in the mix, just as a First Nations. But, you know, it's hard to tell who's gonna, because everybody's kind of saying the same stuff. And so it'll be interesting to see who we narrow it down to. Anybody you rocking with?
There's a couple people. I wish you could low-key take a combination and make them. So I really like Andrew Yang. Okay. Yang is my, So I've been judging it off the Breakfast Club interviews. You know what I mean? They all came to the majority came to the Breakfast Club, and they gave their points. And Yang was the first person who I felt like had a real solid plan with some real stats and some real things that I was like, you know what? You know, and I'm not. Don't get me wrong. Yes, I think his thought of using like what they're doing in Alaska, as far as like giving us an extra $1,000, I think a month or something like that, will help out dearly. Great. But I think the fact that when he was asked a question, he answered the question. He didn't try to skate sort of around, you know what I mean? So I liked him. Yeah. Is her name Mary Williamson? Oh, Marion Williamson. Yeah. I like her because she's talking about reparations. All right. No, she's I'm qualified. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you why I'm qualified. You know, and she comes from a spiritual perspective, which I can appreciate. She's about healing and wholeness. And the first person who can sit there and tell us why we need reparations, how much reparations will cost, and stuff like that. And then she didn't back away from it. But you know, I was quick like Bernie, like I was with Bernie last. You know, I'm thinking, yo, he's gonna be. Come on, Bernie. Bernie was like trying to fade the question. I'm like, come on, dog. You know. Now here's the thing. Kamala and Corey. They're black, and I wanna be rocking with them because that's my brother, that's my sister. You know what I mean? Strong. You know, I can get with the whole like, you know, people want to hold Kamala to a certain thing because she was a prosecutor and stuff like that. Yeah. But she said she did a whole lot of good too. You know what I mean? So it's like we all got flaws, right? Yeah. But there wasn't something that she said that like hit me. You know what I'm saying? Right. Even Corey too was like. Huh? You wasn't feeling the Biden stuff about her being bust and all that. Well, I mean, I think for me, I think it's a great point. Yeah. But it's nothing that's going to change my life. Exactly. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, exactly, yeah. Like, yeah, we can bring up his past and what he did and stuff like that. Like, we can bring up your past. Yeah. Like, we argue about the past ain't going to help us right now. That's good. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, point, so what? So, get him up out of here. Yeah. Okay, cool. what you gonna do?
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
What's your plan? What's now? I think she does have some good stuff about loans. You know what I mean? And she wants to get rid of. I'm with that. You know what I mean?
What's her name?
I'm with Rise High.
Yeah, something like that. I can't remember.
Sorry, Kamala, we messed up your joint.
Sorry.
But yeah, it's something like I think is something about rising up or something like that. That's gonna be good for your student loans, and so I'm with that.
What about Elizabeth Warren?
I don't really know much about it.
I don't trust her for some reason.
I don't have no. I mean, is it because she's an older white woman? Is that it?
I don't know what it is.
I don't have a stake in the game for Elizabeth Warren. You know what I mean?
I don't understand.
Yeah.
She's an anomaly.
Yeah. So we have a lot to choose from, and hopefully in September things are gonna.
Yeah, man. We need to get out here and study.
Yeah.
We need to learn, for real.
Yeah.
Have our eyes open.
Definitely, Diddy, if you listen and watch this, we need you to come back and rock the vote or something like that. We need a hard push for some voting things. And so yeah. Oh, and lastly, what's any new music you've been listening to or what you've been rocking with?
Chance's album came out.
It did. The Big Day.
Yeah, Big Day. I'm alright with it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm alright with it. I just feel like I'm alright with it.
Okay.
It'd be hard to beat Coloring Book.
Yeah.
But it's just.
I think that's where people are. I've heard some bad reviews.
Yeah.
I've listened to it. I actually love it.
You did?
It's not Coloring Book though.
Yeah.
And so here's my thing. I rate an artist or their album by their previous work. And if it doesn't meet their previous work, majority of the time I think it's trash. But there are a few artists where their albums aren't trash, it's just different. And I've had to sit there and distinguish and say, this album is just different than this album.
It's very different.
And so I feel like, I was telling people, I feel like Chance is on this, like, I'm trying to change things.
Yeah.
Right. So he's like, I'm going to make being a Christian cool again.
Yeah.
So I'm going to bring out Coloring Book.
Yeah.
Boom. I'm gonna make marriage cool again.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring out the Big Day.
I do like the song about statues.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Eternal is dope.
Yeah.
And I think that and he's at a different place in his life. He's grown. He's happy.
Yeah.
And majority of the time, people will still want you to be angry and sad and depressed. You want him to go back to acid rap when he ain't on acid no more. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's happy.
Exactly.
And so I feel like this is great. If you in a relationship and you about to get married and you want that feel good music, this is what you listen to.
Yeah, and I feel like that was his point, right?
Yeah.
Just like, let's have a good time. He said something about like, taking your kids home from school.
Yeah.
Music, I mean, I play it in front of my daughter.
Yeah, he's a father. I do too. I can play it, and the cursing ain't as bad as usual.
Except for that one line about how he quit smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
And whatever tastes like key lime.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little rough, but I mean, he's a lyricist. So.
He's married, right?
Yeah, but he's married now. Shout out to the Bennetts and stuff like that. And I think the Big Day is cool. It's not Coloring Book. We know it's not Coloring Book, okay? But I think it's a good. I've also been listening to Big Crit. Okay. Crit is here. It's a phenomenal album by phenomenal lyricists. If you have not listened to it, you need to. Crit, job well done, okay? Yeah. Front to back, like it's banging.
I didn't listen to it yet.
You should go when you go home today. Go listen to it, okay? Right. You will not be disappointed.
Sure.
And Drizzy dropped Care Package. Yeah. Which is a bunch of the old joints that we all love. I appreciate it. Yeah. Jodeci, back freestyle. I like that. I mean, a couple, even like Trust Issues, where he, the on one, the original version. I was like, yes. 5 a.m. in Toronto, yes. It's like this is the Drizzy that I love.
Like people hate on him. I mean, he's very talented.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
See, here's the thing. I'm very critical, but I don't feel like I'm hating. I just like a particular type of. Yeah. I mean, I'm a lyricist. I like it when you body and people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so when I listen to it, it reminds me of So Far Gone, Take Care. Like it reminds me of the stuff where he's like, I'm being clever and witty with my rhyme. You know what I mean? And so I appreciate that. Yeah. Go cop some new music. If you haven't,
I heard the Ed Sheeran joint.
Okay, Ed Sheeran.
He got a lot of cameos.
He
so
does.
I was like, all right, I'm gonna check it out. Somebody told me to check it out. I haven't listened to it yet.
I haven't listened to it yet either, but I know he got a joint with Travis that they're playing on the radio right now.
A bunch of folks
you know what I mean? I think Meek on the album. You know what I mean? So yeah,
Meek is killing it.
Meek is killing it.
Man.
Meek is killing it. And Cole is killing it. Every feature he's done is A1, okay?
Yes.
A1. I haven't heard a feature yet
that
has fell below par.
Yeah. I mean, I know. I'm hoping there's some more stuff. I mean, it's August.
Yeah.
So we need a little bit more music.
Yeah, we'll see. So that's what's good with the culture, y'all. I know that was a long one, but hey, it's good content. So I appreciate you rocking with us. All right, next we're going to transition to our Crossroads segment.
Yeah.
So Crossroads is a time where we talk about an issue of faith that our culture, millennials, we always have, and there's not a place or a platform to really address it, and so we like to give that space. And so I think today we're going to deal with, both of us have done work on college campuses. And primarily we both met, like Tammy said earlier, in the AUC, that's Atlanta University Center. Shout out to Morehouse, Spelman, Clark Atlanta University, ITC, and Mo B. Shout out to Morris Brown. And so one of the things we work with is, one of the things that we deal with is issues of faith, specifically in the realm of African Americans, because in those schools, they're all HBCUs. I know the majority of the people who already know that, but some of you may not. And so there's something that always is brought up when you're a worker or a practitioner dealing with faith. Without fail, dog. And one of those things is Christianity being the white man's religion. Yeah. So there's this notion, because whoever, I don't know if it's Da Vinci, I think it was Da Vinci. Yeah. He's always the one that's messing up stuff. Da Vinci has a painting of Jesus where he's blonde haired, blue-eyed, he's white. Everyone has seen it. If you've been to a church or you have a grandmother of some sort, there's this picture of Jesus, right? Unless you're really pro-black, Afrocentric, then it's the one where he's breaking the shackles. But every church got this picture of Jesus, or in their wall or something like that. You know what I mean? And we know how slavery goes. Yeah. We know that, slave traders, enslaved Africans, brought them over the Middle Passage, brought them to America, and they indoctrinated them with Christianity. Yeah. And so there's a lot of sects of Christianity and even just people out there who claim that Christianity is the white man's religion. Yeah. Tamise, do you think that Christianity is the white man's religion? If so, why? If not, why? And what do we do? How do we deal with this conflict and those that choose to practice Christianity as a faith?
So I got a twofold answer. Is that cool?
That's fine. Be free.
So I feel like no. On one hand, no, it is not a white man's religion because it was started by Jewish people. It was started by Middle Eastern folks. So it's definitely not. It doesn't belong to white people. On the flip side of that, I think white people co-opted it, and whatever they produced here in America, I can see why people would say that it's a white man's religion. So, I mean, I think that for us as black people, it's really important to understand the roots of Christianity. I mean, you've got marginalized people who were wilding. I mean, these people that told these stories were like oppressed people. They were from bad neighborhoods, types of people, just writing about their experiences with this man, And I feel like when it gets written down and it gets shared, it starts out in Africa. I mean, everything that we hear about in terms of the Bible is all taking place in North Africa, So it's been a brown and black religion, and then obviously white people come in with money and power, and they co-opt it. I think I can't remember who said it. It might have been Desmond Tutu. The missionaries came over here. And they said, let's pray. And we closed our eyes. And when, we're standing on the land, and when the missionaries come, we close our eyes to pray. Now they got the land and we got the Bible, right? And it's just kind of a situation where Christianity becomes kind of inculcated in whiteness, so that whatever we experience over here in America, I would say is whitewashed. And I would say has a lot of leaven of white supremacy in it. And I think that it's cool to kind of call that out, but I wouldn't throw the baby out with the bathwater. That's kind of where I'm at.
Okay, so how do we navigate these spaces when we're on the street corner, we in a barbershop, we're at a hair salon, and we're meeting people, but they try to hit us with that, this is a white man, you just gonna he's whitewashing like that, do we just give them the facts and be like, look, dog, Jewish, Hebrew, blah blah blah, Africa, blah blah blah, or is there something else? You know what I mean?
Man, I think that for me, the conversations that have lasted the longest and been the most, respectful, have been when I affirm that. Okay. Like, I actually affirm the truth of what people are saying.
Yeah.
So, because it's a lot of truth. You got to acknowledge like where these people are coming from, and they're right about a lot of it. But I think for me, I talk about my own personal journey, like why I choose to kind of rock with this, and what's compelling about it to me. And I feel like for me as a Black woman, the roots of Christianity empower me. I feel proud to be Black. They don't make me feel enslaved in any way or oppressed in any way. But I think when I get in these conversations, I try to like go with where the people are going, because they're telling the truth. And I think most of what people experience a lot of times is dismissal. And we can't dismiss that. We need to affirm, like, yeah, you're right. Like, a lot of the stuff we were fed is trash. But that doesn't mean, I feel like, to me, to accept that and to walk away from Christianity claiming it's white man's religion is actually you being oppressed. In my view. Like, I feel like the most woke thing we can do as Black people is get back to our roots. Which to me has a lot to do with the story that was told by these 12 guys. So that's where I'm at. Like, I feel like I don't want to argue with people, because I think there's a lot of work we can do to work together. I've actually been studying like African religion and things like that, and what did this look like. Actually, it was Black Panther that started me on the journey of like, there's so many things about our culture we just don't remember that has been stripped from us. And as I do some study, like, I see a lot of intersection between Christianity, the roots, and what I come to know about it, and some of the West African stuff. Honestly. So, I don't know. I wouldn't argue with people, but I would have a conversation about it and go from there. See if they're willing to move or bend on it.
Okay, last question on the crossroads. We talked about getting back to our roots. Another question that I often find with the whole white man's religion is that Christianity or Jesus is a copycat, right? He's made up, he's Horus reinterpreted and stuff like that. And so what do you say to that? Is Jesus just a copycat? Is he just like they just jacked him and say, you know what, here goes a nice story, let's just plagiarize them, the ancient Egyptians, and just like keep it moving, What do you think?
It's a good question. So right now I say I'm rocking with Jesus of Nazareth, being God, being Lord, or whatever. That being said, I think that there's something that is innate in all of us that needed a figure like this, right? So I feel like all of these traditions that have similar stories, I'm not mad at that. Like, I'm not even shocked by that. I think that we kind of, in terms of being a Christian, our worldview is that something was broken. Like, there was this, connection to the Creator that's been broken. And then the promise that comes after that initial breaking is this person that will come, right? Like, that will bring justice and restore things, and will be the rightest person ever, right? The wokest person, the rightest person, the kindest person, the most just person. And I feel like if anybody has any kind of a tradition that tells that kind of a story, I'm not mad at it. I don't think you will find any contradiction in Jesus, but I think there are some unique things about Jesus of Nazareth that I think we have to grapple with, and claims about him, and claims he made about himself that we really do have to like grapple with. So I'm not mad at it. Like, I think if God is real and he's everywhere, then of course there are people who have stories that are very similar. You know what I'm saying? And who's to say that there's not some truth in those stories? I'm not mad at it.
That's dope. I don't think that Christianity is a white man's religion, because again, it came from Africa. All Africans are Black, so therefore, boom, that settles that. I also think that
look,
if you look at Hebrews, you know what I mean? The earliest pictures of Hebrews were dark-skinned people.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So
everything, like, you find these, everything they're finding about Black Madonna, like, all of these pictures and images, they're Black people. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? So I'm not saying Jesus was African-American, but I will say that he was Black. You know what I mean? He was from Africa, so he's African. All right. Next thing, I don't think that he is a copycat. I don't think Jesus is a copycat. I think that there may be some similarities, but I don't think he's a copycat of Horus or Osiris or whoever it is that they're trying to paint him as. And again, they're African, and so like yes, they may have similarity. Just like and I'm not trying to say what I'm about to say. If you're watching it, don't come from my head because I'm not saying Jesus is this. I'm just saying the analogy, right? Like Santa Claus, right? There are different versions of how Santa comes, what Santa looks like, what Santa's name is, whatever like that.
Totally.
But it's still Santa.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
Jesus is not Santa, but Jesus in different cultures and different ways will be spread, and they may have called him different things. You know what I mean? And so I think that we should listen, like you said, to these stories, but we should make distinctions about what Jesus says versus what these other people say, what actually happened. Did he come around? Has he shown up? I've heard stories where he has come back, okay? I haven't heard anything about these rest of these people coming back. So, and we can't argue with experience, you know what I mean?
That's the truth, man.
So yeah, so
it's
that's my
hard to
thoughts.
argue with an empty tomb.
Yeah, it's kind of hard, you know what I mean? But that's the Crossroads segment. We appreciate everybody tuning in for that.
Yeah.
And it's my favorite part.
Man.
Top 5! All right.
This is so hard. I was so mad that you did this.
Hey, so here's the thing. If you coming onto the Crowns Up podcast, all right, or the Crowns Up show, know that you are going to have to figure out a top 5 of something, okay? It's going to switch up every week. And what I have noticed in just my pre-production and just my research of meeting new people is that if I say a top 5 of a certain topic, we can elaborate plenty of times, and then we got to argue about factors and all this stuff, and it really brings out some emotion, which makes good content, right? So today we're going to talk about the top 5 hip-hop songs of all time. Our top 5 hip-hop songs, right? I think we need to establish a criteria so that we're not sitting here arguing over criteria. Okay. One, let's first establish like how it makes us feel, because at the end of the day, music moves us, and how it makes us feel is important. Okay. The next, we could talk about cultural relevance.
Yeah.
Third, we can talk about impact on just people and longevity, I guess, if you want to.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to throw in the pot as far as like criteria? I don't want to we can deal with awards and stuff like that if you want, but
I mean, obviously lyricism.
You know, okay.
That's where I'm at with my picks.
Okay.
All right. So like that's why I picked what I picked.
Okay.
Timelessness of the message and the lyrics, I think.
Okay. So we have how it makes us feel, cultural impact, timelessness or classicness, lyricism. Yeah. Anything else?
I'm good.
All right. Cool. So those are our 4 things. So if you have some more criteria, drop it in a comment, DM us, let us know what you think, whatever that. So Tamise, let's go top 5 songs of all time. If you want to put them in order, you can. If you don't,
I can't put them in order.
Okay.
I can't do it. But off the top, Cream, Wu-Tang.
Woo! Cash rules everything around me.
Get the money.
Dollar bills. All right.
Yeah, it's just Wu-Tang is crazy.
Okay.
What they were able to do, 9 people.
Yeah.
Like the difference in the styles.
Yeah.
And even like what RZA was trying to do, like in terms of elevating the culture.
Yeah.
You've got people coming from Staten Island, which was not really heard of.
Yeah.
And so when I first heard that song, I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Like I kind of like, so with that one and with Tribe Called Quest and Scenario, like when Busta comes on the scene, it's just like it was the same feeling.
Yeah.
I just was blown away by it, and I still listen to it, and that's how I judge.
Yeah.
You know, what's to me are the top 5.
Yeah.
So that was one of my top 5.
Okay.
I kind of snuck Scenario in there.
Yeah. So is Scenario gonna be another one, or it's not? It doesn't.
I don't know. Well, I had it on my list, but I don't know.
Okay. We'll keep it. We'll see.
Obviously, New York State of Mind.
Okay.
Automatic.
Okay.
Just Dubbed.
The beat, just the way the beat drops.
Oh my gosh. I mean, classic.
It's giving me chill right now just thinking about it.
I have never. So, you know, I didn't grow up like Nas grew up or anything like that, but I felt like, man, he is opening a door and giving me a glimpse into his reality. And it was just so prolific and profound that one, if I had to put him in order, that's like number one. Yeah. And it's hard because Jay is my guy. Yeah. But I mean, New York State of Mind is like the thing. Yeah. I don't even feel like I got to talk about that one. What else? Mobb Deep, Quiet Storm. Just, I'm gonna put that on the list. Okay. Just the way they tell the story, like it's something about you being able to pull me, or lyrically being able to pull me into an environment that I'm not familiar with. Yeah. But I feel your pain and your angst. I feel like I still will listen to that song. Yeah. Quiet Storm is dope. Yeah. What else? My girl Lauren, Lost Ones. So to me, these are like songs that have lyrical content. Yeah. They make you think. That's why you're gonna be shocked by this last one. The Sound of the Police.
Woo woo. Okay.
Come on, KRS-One in the way that he taught us. Yeah. He taught the people. I missed that, right? And I didn't put Jay on here because I couldn't pick a song. Yeah. But I feel like the way that they tried to lift up culture and like, this is for us, by us. We're gonna talk to one another for a minute. And I feel like KRS did that consistently. Yeah. So those were the 5. I had to boil them down. I had a whole list of stuff, and I was like, all right. And I feel like there's enough sort of variety in the ones I chose that people could kind of understand what I love about hip hop and the type of hip hop I like. Yeah. So that's it.
Definitely all New York heavy. Yes.
I mean, shout out to Pop.
East Coast rap.
I'm East Coast for life.
East Coast rap. All right.
Definitely. Gully.
And I did not, by the way, I did not know what her list was going to be. So anybody who actually knows me, don't think that I'm trying to be biased by who I bring to the show. I did not know she's going to go East Coast rap. Okay.
East Coast forever.
All right. So my list is more variety, and I'm actually still coming. I'm still coming up with it as we're speaking. So I knew some off rip was going to be on the list. So. I don't know if it's number 5, but the first one I thought about when I even came up with the question was "You're All I Need" by Mary J. and Method Man. The emotion that is evoked when you hear that song, you know what I mean? Man. I'm getting chills just thinking about it. Like, you just want to groove. Not only is it Grammy Award winning, you know what I mean? It's got Method and Mary in the height of their career, like, you know what I mean? I think that's another one. That's one. Yes. So I'm gonna have to give it to the next one. I'm gonna have to do it Summertime. Okay. Because I was arguing with a whole bunch of people, and Summertime was like, and Summertime has been played every year since it's dropped. Okay, we can't argue. Like,
I think he's whack as a rapper, but the song is what it is. I've always thought he was whack.
Will is not whack as a rapper. He's just not the best. He's not the most lyrical of it. You know what I mean?
I guess that's because then
I mean you gotta think that Kid and Play is whack, and you gotta think that. You know, a lot of these people are whack.
So if you put them all in that genre.
You know what I mean? Like, all the more positive, you know, De La Soul, they not whack. You know what I mean? But they're more positive.
Exactly,
You know, so, but Summertime, shoot, we can play Summertime right now, and it's going to rock. You know what I mean? The next one, I'm going to have to give it to, it's so hard. Because I'm like, what would I? I'm just give it to. I'm gonna have to give it to Lil Wayne with A Milli. Okay. I'm gonna have to, even though Let the Beat Build on the album is my favorite. Yeah. A Milli is just a phenomenal display of lyrical exercise. Like, you know what I mean? It's just crazy. Like, you know what I mean? And although they don't play it as much, no, I'm sorry. I can't give it to them because I just thought of another one that I actually have to give it to. A Milli is a strong 6. Yeah. A strong, I'm saying, what would I knock? No, I can't. I'm sorry. A Milli is a strong 6. Okay. Strong 6. Number 3, I'm going to have to give it to Brenda's Got a Baby.
Yeah. Of course.
Although Keep Your Head Up is one of my favorites, Brenda's Got a Baby articulates a story that brings so much out of you that I don't think was done prior to it happening.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
I think, and although somebody might watch be like, well, he ain't in your top 5 though. He's not in my top 5, but it isn't because I don't think he's a great artist. Right. Just that a lot of music didn't necessarily speak to me, but Brenda's Got a Baby. Just like what a young woman goes through when she's pregnant and trying to have a kid and abortion, all that. Like, and not only the visual to it, it's raw, uncut, and it's what hip hop is about. Yes. Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
I want to get back to that.
I know we got to give it to Brenda's Got a Baby for that, which is why I had to knock off Amelie, because although Amelie is like great, it's not like it doesn't have that same impact. So this is where my New York bag has to come in. I'm going to have to give the next one to Hold and give it to Hard Knock Life.
I appreciate you.
I got to give it to Hard Knock Life. Although Public Service Announcement is forever my favorite Hold song. Hard Knock Life it do something to you. Allow me to reintroduce myself. But Hard Knock Life kind of put him in that spotlight. The Annie sample, the visual, it was kind of like when after Big and Pac died, there was a struggle for who's going to be king of New York. Right. And of course, Jay-Z and Nas are naked, but I feel like Hard Knock Life is what kind of like put him to be able to say like.
It's always a sample, right? Because I was thinking about South Bronx.
They
came out and they like took it back from Queens.
Right. So you got. I think Hard Knock Life. Definitely, Hard Knock Life can rock anywhere, and it'll still.
I mean, you need to just do a top 5 Jigga.
Yeah, we do need to do a top 5. I probably will.
Man,
and I'm telling you now, Public Service Announcement is going to be my number 1.
I'll write on that.
Somebody's going to argue with me with that. Maybe I'll bring you back. We can do that if I don't do it. But so Hard Knock Life, and then my last one has to be Juicy. It got to be Juicy because Juicy still gets played. Juicy is dope. Big is not in my top 5, but Big impact on New York culture. Yes. And without Big, there's no Bad Boy, there's no Mate, there's none of that. Junior Mafia, none of that.
That's right.
Without Big. And so Juicy rocks hard. I will say a strong 7. I feel like somebody could argue is Back That Thing Up.
Okay.
And this is why, because since 1999, Back That Thing Up has played every week. And I dare
taking over for the 90s.
Taking over in the 2000s. They wasn't playing, okay?
Because records.
Hey man, every week, at least one time. I'm sure it's more. Back That Thing Up is played. Yeah. And the same motions and the same thing happens. And so when you have that type of impact, that type of song, you can't you can't argue with it. It's just not in my top 5, but it was a close. Like, it was a close. Yeah. So again, I'm gonna go with "You're All I Need to Get By" Mary and Meth.
Yes, that's a good one.
I'm gonna go with "Summertime" by Fresh Prince and Jazzy Jeff. I'm gonna go with "Brenda's Got a Baby" by Tupac Shakur. I'm gonna go with "Hard Knock Life" by Sean Jay-Z Carter, and Christopher Wallace, Frank White, Notorious B.I.G.'s "Juicy." It's gonna be my number 1.
I got you.
So yeah.
You know what I wanted an honorable mention though?
What's the honorable?
I tried to keep it kind of like late. Yeah. There's so much good stuff, but Joyner Lucas and Eminem's "Lucky You," in terms of flow, that one, when I first heard that song, I just sat in my car. Yeah. Like, what just happened? Yeah. So when you were talking about flow, I was like, man, we should have put M on there somewhere. Yeah. And so here's the thing. M is in my top 5. And if I was going to pick, my favorite M song is "The Way I Am." Yeah. I said "Back with the Pack is Jackson, Back is We Think Is Me." It's like, it's so good. But I couldn't think that it would be
Either that or even like Lose Yourself.
Yeah.
Or you know what? I'd really give him the 8 Mile freestyle, the
Yeah.
last verse of the 8 Mile. You know what I mean? The last rhyme in the 8 Mile joint.
Yeah.
You know, but I again, it would be up there with a million. I couldn't say that it was a better song or better verses than the ones that I had.
Yes,
You know what I mean? The 8 Mile.
Clear experience, guys.
Right. Tell you something they don't know about. You know what I mean? Like iconic. You know what I mean? But I couldn't get him over, you know, those ones. But I think you had some good, like New York State of Mind is it's hard. It's so hard. You know what I mean?
Hip hop.
So thanks for tuning in to Crowns Up this week. We appreciate you. Follow us, Crowns Up Pod, on all social media. That's CROWNSUPPOD. Share, like, subscribe to our YouTube page. Let people know about us. If you got something that you want to hear, or a topic, or you want to be on the show, hit me up. Just drop a comment, slide through the DM, whatever like that, and we'll try to get you on. We'll try to get what you want played or listened to, I should say. Tamise, tell the people once again how to get in contact with you, how they follow you and stuff like that. www.subcultureinc.org. Hit us up. We got podcasts, we got content, we got X on the site. I'm on that. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, Tamise. It is again Professor X. As always, we're here to keep your crown fit and your soul lit. All right? Keep your crowns up. It's X. Later. Love y'all.